Good evening and welcome to Albany Student Broadcasting here at Albany High School. I'm Arn Yugisin-Kanan and next to me is Maggie Torpy-Murray. Tonight is senior night for the Albany Cougars and as a result, emotions are running high.
That's right, Arn. And in fact, tonight is the last night that the seniors will be here in their home gym. And something else to notice is that the Albany Cougars, who are ranked number 1, they have an 8-0 record, while the St. Joseph's Pilots, they have a 6-2 record, which does put them in second place. So this will be an interesting match.
Yeah, tonight's game should be a great one. We'll be right back with the game.
Welcome back to senior night with the Albany Cougars versus the St. Joseph Pilots. Before we get started with the game, well, actually, the players are still warming up right now, but because it is senior night, we do have a little senior awards ceremony to celebrate our 4 seniors: Brooke Tannehill, Anu Munctur, Amber Erhan, and Shannon Ruggiero Curley.
That's right. It's a very emotional time as for all the players and coaches, as it can potentially be the last home game for the seniors. Of course, there's still league playoffs and NCS, but there's no guarantee on how many of those games will be held here. And we have hosted a couple of the games in the past, and we hope to do it again this year. And it's looking like we probably will, as all Albany needs to do is either win this game or the next game against El Cerrito to win first place in the league and get a first round bye. And now the players are coming onto the court to begin the ceremony.
So as the JV players have welcomed the other players in, they're in line awaiting with their pom-poms to welcome the 4 seniors onto the court for the ceremony.
That's right. Also, just something to note before we start the game, it appears as Maggie McKenna is on crutches and it appears that she will not be playing tonight, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, it's senior night. Coach Worsley's probably going to be playing all the seniors.
Yeah.
And St. Joseph, they are ranked number 2, right underneath us.
So even if it wasn't senior night, they would probably play the senior. Worsley would probably play the seniors anyways.
And just upperclassmen in general.
Just the best players. Yeah.
So it looks like we're about to start.
Yeah, well, the music is cut down, so it should be any minute now.
You know, I believe it was not last year, but 2 years ago, where the players convinced Coach Worsley to do a little dance with them. I don't know if it was the Cupid Shuffle or something like that, but they did. Oh, no, maybe it was like to teach me how to Dougie.
Teach me how to Dougie. Yeah, I mean, if we get Coach Worsley to do another dance tonight, that'll be definitely something to look forward to.
And this is especially an especially special night for our seniors because they started as freshmen the year that Coach Worsley started coaching this team.
That's right. That's right. So they've kind of grown and developed with him as well as he's grown with them.
Yeah.
I mean, for his whole career here at Albany High School, he's known the seniors being here, and next year they will be gone.
That's true. Another nice thing to the ceremony is that we do recognize the seniors on the other team.
We do?
Yes, or at least we haven't past years. We should this year. I think it's only right.
I was not aware of that. I mean, I guess it's right, but I mean, do they honor us when we play El Cerrito for the last game?
Well, I don't know if that's their senior night. Probably should be since it is the last
it's
game.
their last home game, right? Yeah.
I think they should.
Or are they not as classy as Albany is?
Well, I know that other schools have done the same as well. And just to mention, on the St. Joseph team, they have a senior number 5, Maddie Dowd, who's one of the captains. Another senior, Alexa Martinez, who's and also a captain. Senior Hannah George, number 11, and senior Jill Taylor, number 18.
Yeah, so they have, 4 seniors as well?
Yes.
Yeah, and Maddie Dowd, if I believe, has a younger sibling who's also on the varsity team.
Yeah, she's a sophomore. Good call right there. So I'm sure.
That will definitely be a big moment for them as
well, they don't get to make any speeches.
Yeah, I mean,
here,
but still.
Yeah.
Just something to note.
So right now we're just waiting for all of the microphones and all of the equipment to get set up.
Yeah, it appears like they're having some technical difficulties. They should get waiting for the batteries and the announcer's microphone. Maybe Ryan Glatt can do something about that.
Yeah, we got lots of wires running around this place. I'm sure we can get everything hooked up in time.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, the JV team is wearing their pink jerseys in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but the varsity team isn't.
Yeah, I also noticed that. Thought it was a little strange.
But I'm sure on senior night, they'll want to represent their school colors.
Yeah. I mean, black isn't really a school color, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
It's also kind of funny, if you look around the gym, you see a bunch of signs in honor of the 4 seniors who will be graduating.
Oh, that's true. We will miss you, Neil. We'll miss you, Shannon, Brooke.
Amber. I think they'll miss Amber the most. Just in my opinion.
I'll have to agree that they'll definitely miss her talent and her height.
Yeah. That's something that they're definitely gonna have to replace. And we were talking about it on the previous broadcast. All right, well, I guess it looks like they're gonna start now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Albany High School, home of the Albany High School Cougars. Tonight, in Tri-County League volleyball action, the Cougars will host the Pilots from St. Joseph Notre Dame High School, Alameda, California. To continue a wonderful tradition practiced here at Albany High School and many high schools across the country, the last scheduled match of the year, home match of the year, is senior night, where we will take a few minutes to briefly salute and honor and acknowledge the seniors on the volleyball team and their parents, people who have given a lot to this program over the last 4 years. It is time. Introducing first, number 3, Brooke Tannehill.
It's really nice that they're introduced with their families.
Yeah, I was also noticing that how both her brothers
and
are
is
here.
defensive specialist and outside hitter. She is escorted by her parents, Laura and Kevin Tannehill, and her brothers, Kyle and Luke Tannehill.
Somebody has a siren.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
That's funny.
Brooke.
If you can see in the audience, her friends are holding up funny pictures of her.
Now, number 8, Anna Munter.
Anu, Munkter.
Don't even know how to say her name.
I love the sashes. They wear those today at school.
What do they say, seniors?
Yeah.
Yeah, letting everyone know that they are seniors, they are superior.
That's right.
And now, number 9, Shannon Riggio Curley.
It's no surprise that they saved Amber for last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going by numerical order.
That's true.
Shannon is an outside hitter and is escorted tonight by her parents, Reese and Maria, and her siblings, Joe, Mark, and Dana.
It's really nice how they get the whole family involved, like we were mentioning earlier.
Yeah, her little sister Dana is really into volleyball too.
Is she?
Yeah.
Maybe future Albany High School star?
Yeah, I think so.
Amber Ehrhan, co-captain of the team this year. Amber is escorted tonight by her mother, Rachel. Brooke Tannehill is also co-captain of this year's squad.
What did he say?
Now it is my pleasure
That Brooke
to
Tannehill's
introduce someone
also
I've known for
co-captain.
a
He didn't mention that before.
long
Oh,
time. Junior, Maddie Bernard.
That's an important part.
Hey, Brooke. Well, Brooke, you're one of the most kindest persons I've ever met. You have always motivated and inspired me to do so much better in practices and in games because you're so supportive and amazing at volleyball. I remember watching you in our smaller days at middle school and just thinking how good you were and how I wanted to be as good as you, and I'm still thinking that today. I'll really miss you in the upcoming years, especially since we've gotten so much closer this year, but I'll be okay with it because I know you'll be doing some great things in this world. No matter where you decide to go for college and what you decide to do, I know you'll succeed. Thanks for being my friend and teammate, and especially a great leader. Love you, Brooke. Peace for life. Sorry for touching your name so much.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
And Maddie's a junior, so
She'll be in Brooks Place next year.
Hello again.
yeah.
Anu, come on. Join me. Well, Anu, we have started from the bottom and now we're here. Anu, you're probably the most athletic person
Drake quote.
I will ever know. There's not one sport I've seen you be bad at, seriously. You're also a fighter and you just don't give up until you get what you want. That's one of the things I love most about you. No matter if you have a concussion or a hurt knee or any of your many injuries, you always push through it and just keep going. For the years that I've gotten to know you, I've found how good of a friend you are to me. And how you're always there for me no matter what. You always have my back, and I can tell you anything, and you always give me great advice. I'll miss you so much when you leave, but I'll survive because it'll only be a phone call or text away. I know you'll go into doing great things in the future. I love you.
Maddie was talking
Speaking
about
next will
Anu's
be Albany High School
injury
junior
past, and
Benita
Albany was lucky
Izu.
this year that Anu didn't really have any serious injury that
Yeah,
caused her
like
to
Maggie
miss.
McKenna.
Like exactly.
Shannon, ever since middle school, I've looked up to you. Being in the grade above me, you were always a huge role model. And when we were finally on the same team together, I was so excited. One thing I love about you is your funny, easygoing personality. There's never a day where you don't make me laugh. On the court, you always stay positive and focused, keeping us working together and staying strong. I feel lucky to have been on a team with you and have enjoyed getting to know you over the years. We've shared so many good times on and off the court. I can't imagine what it's going to be like next year without you. Love you so much and best wishes on your college journey. I'll be rooting for you.
If you heard that, that was
Amber,
Amber's
there
grandmother
is
up
too many great
up
things
there
to
in the
say
crowd.
about you, so I guess I should just name a few. You're such a great captain and leader. You always have something to say that is inspiring or funny. I cannot believe that our time together is almost over. I still remember my freshman year varsity and how you accepted me into the team with open arms and was the first one to make me feel included. The one thing that is great about you is that you always have the biggest smile on your face no matter what. When I have a bad day, I can always look forward to practice where I know that you'll me up. I've had so much fun playing with you. But keep working hard like you do every day in practice. I know wherever you choose to go, you'll do great things.
Thank you, Benita. It is now my pleasure to introduce the seniors of the St. Joe's team. When I call your name, please step forward. In numerical order, number 5, Maddie Dow. Number 8, Alexa Martinez.
Those first two players are both captains of each team.
Number 11, Hannah George. And lastly, number 18, Jill Taylor.
No, I think it's a really nice gesture that how even though we are
And
here in
now,
Albany and we're
please,
honoring
everyone,
the Cougars
one
tonight, that they do
last
mention
rousing
the
round
pilot
of
seniors and
applause
about how
for
and give them
all 8
roses
seniors on the court
and
tonight.
stuff.
Yeah, it shows really great.
Sportsmanship, I guess.
Right. And those were some really great speeches that I heard too.
Yeah.
It is now my honor to direct your attention to the upper side of the west wall of the gymnasium. Ask you to stand as you are able. Remove your hats. While Albany High School freshman volleyball players Allison Radke and Tazzy Norris sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
Thank you, Allison and Tazzy. That concludes tonight's senior night ceremony.
So that is the end of the ceremony, and now we
The
are
match
preparing
is moments
to
away.
start this game. Highly anticipated.
Yeah, you gotta move those touchy feelings aside now.
Yeah.
get into
It's
it.
time to get serious. I mean, we got the number 1 and the number 2 teams playing. It's gonna be a big match.
Anita Miles.
Right, and if we want to place first in NCS, or in league, actually, we want to either win this game or the next game against
Or
Oswego.
both, I mean.
Yeah, let's shoot for both, I think.
Exactly.
The St. Joseph Notre Dame squad is coached by former Albany High School assistant coach Edwin Chen. Assisted by Sabrina Sinarsana and Nikki Hagen.
We should definitely try to get the camera on the audience when they show those signs, because there's hella people here with signs.
Entering tonight's match with a record of 13 wins and 2 losses, the Cougars of Albany High School, coached by Roger Worsley, assisted by Karen Kepp.
Assisted by who?
I have no idea.
Oh, Miss Kep. She's the middle school. She's a middle school PE teacher, and she's also the JV coach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't go to the middle school.
Yeah, Two players high-fiving each other even before the game started.
Yeah, both captains, Maddie Dowd and Brooke Tannehill, started that off. And Maggie McKenna, if you'll see, even with her crutches, she's able to put one foot in there and get in the team huddle.
Exactly. Now the players are on the court, about ready to start the game.
And it looks like the starting lineup for the Albany Cougars is number 9, senior Shannon Riggio-Curley, number 10, senior Amber Arahan, number 6, Benita Izu-Alcobia, number 8, Anu Munkter, also a senior, number, I believe, 2, Christine Lagastro-Miller, and number 3, senior Brooke Tannehill. And on the pilot side, we have number 1, Emma Dowd, number 5, Maddie Dowd, number 18, Jill Taylor.
It appears as the pilots have 2 number 1s.
Or, you know, I mistook that for 7, maybe? I don't know.
I think you're right. I think that might be a 7. Well, anyways, in the meantime, it seems as if Pilots got a point. Probably the first game I've seen so far where Albany is losing, even though it is still early.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to assume that. But you'll notice how the server on the pilot side, she starts from the left side, and that's a strategy that she uses to position herself correctly. Maybe she knows that the ball always curves a little bit to the right when she serves, so that's showing that she knows her stuff.
Yeah, and Olivia Ballesteros, I don't know. Number 19 is just subbed in for Emma Dowd for the Pilots. As number 16, Jillian Guffey subs in for number 6 rather, Benita Izu-Alcobia.
That's interesting that he's putting Guffey in.
Yeah, the freshman usually doesn't get a lot of playing time. Looks like that was just barely in.
Well, Guffey ducked down because she thought it was going out, but she
Yeah.
really can't know unless she's in the back calling that ball. But
Yeah.
and if you look out into the audience, we do have a rather large crowd here today.
Yeah, there's a lot of students here, more than there usually are.
in support of their seniors and just the team in general, which is always really nice. Side out. Albany 1, St. Joseph 3. Number 20, Allison Young to serve.
Ooh, and Reggio Curley got a little bit too much on that hit.
Well, you know, Lancaster Miller set that ball really tight to the net, and sometimes you just can't get the right hit.
Angle, yeah.
And I noticed when they were warming up, Lancaster Miller, the players were a little frustrated with her sets because they were just too tight to the net. So she needs to work on that.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be watched tonight throughout the games.
But they had no trouble running that one, and it looks like Arahan, that move is going to be one thing that sets us apart from them.
Yeah, as number 9 Reggio Curley subs out, and in comes number 11 Poon Palmo
to serve. Yeah. Albany 2, St. Joseph's 4.
Yeah, it's interesting that we haven't seen Jasmine Asaya yet because she is one of the better servers on the team. Her and Brooke Tannehill have the most kills per set. Aces per set.
Right. And Coach Worsley has relied on Asaya to serve in many of the past games. But, you know, it makes me wonder if she's slightly injured, too. It maybe not be as serious as Maggie McKenna.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, if we don't see her soon, that might be a reason. As Albany has 2 points. And, make that 3 points for Albany and 5 for St. Joe's.
And like I said, running that one seems to be a really smart move. But Arahan does move back to serve as Obasi comes in to take her place at the front.
Yeah, Arahan is one of those all-around players. She can play outside hitter in the front. She can serve. She can do everything.
And her serve is just aimed to get over the net.
Yeah.
Although she does serve it to the libero.
Yeah, she doesn't really try to get an ace, though.
A little confusion on the court.
Yeah, 2 players run into each other. Oh, beautiful. And now Albany has tied the game at 5.
Even in the back row, Arahan can pull off a back row attack, no problem.
And she's displaying her power there.
Right. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Contra Costa County Office of Education Regional Occupational Program. Wow, that was a mouthful. A career training program created for high school students and adult learners. Thank you, ROP.
And now the game is tied at 6 as the freshman Jillian Guffey comes off the court for number 6 Benita Izu-Alcobia.
And you'll notice the same 2 players switching on and off between points, and that's just because they play similar positions. And Coach Worsley makes sure that the timing is right, you know, for tall players being in the front row and vice versa.
Yeah, I guess I missed it now, but it seems as if Amber Arahan has also come off the court, but they do have number 4 Sarah Obasi in there who plays the same position. So.
Right. Since Munkter is a libero, she can just come on and off the court as she pleases. Well, between points, of course.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful right there by number 3, Brooke Tannehill. The Pilots were unable to block that.
Yeah, even though Tannehill isn't one of the tallest players on the team, she knows how to get around the blocks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why she's a captain.
That's true.
She knows what she's doing. 7-7 now is the score. Oh, beautiful save there by Munter.
Yeah, that was a nice up. And Tannehill to serve again with the Cougars 8 and Pilots 7.
It's a very close game, and it could take more than 25 points to win this set, as you do need to win by 2 points.
That's very true. 2 years ago at the state championships, they almost every set they went over the maximum of 25.
Yeah, something I've also noticed about this game, and it's probably because the way that both teams are playing, they're both playing very well, is that it seems like everyone is scrambling a little bit more. They're not really staying in their designed place. They're kind of all just running towards the ball.
Right. Usually the Cougars are very composed and very, they have a sort of calm about them. But I'm sure they're all excited.
I mean, they know this is a big game, and they also know that this is their last home game, so they want to perform well. So we mentioned before, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of tension. They're just trying to go out there, play their best.
Definitely a lot of scrambling there.
Yeah.
Which brings us to side out with a tied score of 9. Number 10, Donna Pineda. She's one of the setters. She just served there. She seems to be a reliable server.
Yeah. And there's a point for Albany.
And if you'll notice in the audience, we're zooming in right now, there's a silly picture of Brooke that her friends are holding up, and a sign.
It's really nice to see all these students coming out and supporting their seniors, because I've noticed in past games there hasn't been as much of a turnout, but it's really nice tonight to see them.
Well, it's definitely important for senior night that they're there.
Oh, what a play by
Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Even though that ball didn't come from a perfect set, she still took the initiative and rolled with it.
Yeah, well, Amber was trying to go for the kill, but it was blocked, and as a result, it went all the way back towards the end of the court. That's way out, and now Albany has oh, just kidding. That was the Pilots' point, tying it at 11.
Yeah, that ball went right through their block.
Yeah, it's hard to see from the angle we're sitting at. It looked out for me, but I guess it wasn't.
Really strong servers on both ends of the spectrum, which is not something that that I've seen in these past broadcasts that we've had.
And just a reminder, today's broadcast is brought to you by Clearcom, a global manufacturer of communication systems. We want to thank Rom Rosenblum and Clearcom Intercom Systems of Alameda for their generous mentoring and technical support. As Albany is up 12-11, and Jillian Guffey is back in the game to serve.
Arahan is killing it tonight.
Yeah, she's very excited after all those points. So you can see Albany bench doing their Terrio impression.
And timeout from the Pilot side. If you notice in those last couple of points, the Cougars were looking a little worried, but Arahan turned around, gave him a smile, and said, it's going to be all right. And that's why she's one of the captains.
Yeah. Well, she's been playing club volleyball for 7 years, so she, just like Brooke Tannehill and the rest of the seniors, she really knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and she told me that she's hoping to play in college.
Yeah,
too.
well, she definitely is talented enough to.
to follow in Kyra Holt's footsteps.
Exactly.
I think
Kyra
so.
Holt is going to Washington State and performing admirably there.
So freshman Jillian Guffey's all ready to get this game going, but the Pilots, as they took their time out to discuss things, they took a little more time. But
Yeah.
we're back in the game now.
Well, I mean, it's still a close game as Albany's up 13-11, but I think the Pilots have a little bit more to work on than Albany, so that's what they were just discussing. Oh,
and Amber
Amber
runs
seems to be
the
running
one.
around the whole court. She gets another kill there.
That is her shot. You know, and she's also, besides Brooke Tannehill, she's also another one of the captains. And she said that being a captain is so different and more hard than she expected, since there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. But I think she's doing really well with all the responsibilities that it holds, pulling her team together.
Yeah, well, Amber is the tallest player on the team, so even if she wasn't a senior and even if she wasn't a captain, I feel like she would have that leadership role anyways, because being the tallest player on the volleyball court is a lot of not responsibility really, but you have there's a lot more stuff that you can do than the shorter players.
Yeah, and we were talking, and she said it's crazy to think that she's the tallest player on the team, because just a couple of years ago, she was the shortest of all the tall players on the team.
Yeah, well, Albany gets a big point there as they're up 15-12. But yeah, you're right. Even as last year, there was Marin Gibson and Mia Jareggi and Kyra Hull, and they were all much taller than Amber was, or is. And Amber is 6 feet tall. But
Great block by Erhan.
We mentioned in the previous broadcast that there are a couple players on the JV team. I believe they're both freshmen who appear pretty tall and maybe would come up next season to replace Amber.
Right, but height isn't everything. We'll
No.
just have to see.
We'll have to see, yeah. As there's a little bit of confusion between Palmo and Munkter there. They ran into each other a little bit, but they got the job done.
So the Pilots are trying a different strategy. They're pushing the ball instead of hitting it straight down, which gives them the advantage.
Another kill by Amber. She's on fire tonight.
She is. It gives them the advantage because, well, while the ball doesn't go as fast as it could be when you're spiking the ball, you can really aim a lot better.
Yeah, 17-12 now is the score. Albany's ahead. Ooh, and Tannehill and Erhan go up for the block, but they can't quite make it.
Right, blocking is really hard to do because you have to protect the line going down on your side, but also, you know, they can hit cross court too. It's just hoping that you have a really solid defense. The crowd's going wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this game has been a wild game. There's been a lot of long rallies, and it's been hard for either team to gain even 1 point. And it's been close all game, or all set, rather. 17-14 now, Albany. 3-point lead.
And number 3, Ali Oliar to serve for the Pilots. Let's see what the call was.
What does that mean, too?
It looks like somebody doubled, which is when you set the ball.
Right,
It doesn't quite roll off your fingers in the way
You hit
that's
it twice, right?
Right.
I didn't see that call, but, I mean, any point for Albany, I'll take it.
And also another thing, you can't run under the net, so you'll see a lot of diving around that net line.
Yeah, 19-14 now for Albany as Erhan continues to serve. The problem with Erhan serving is then it's hard. She's hard for her to come up to the front where her height really helps in blocking and spiking the ball.
But even so, when she was in the back row, you know, she had that great back row attack. And
Yeah.
also she just dug that ball back there. A lot of confusion on the Cougars side. They need to work on that.
Well, Brooke just hits it a little bit too hard there. But, yeah, that's definitely something they'll probably want to talk about in between sets.
And, you know, there's only a 3-point difference right now. So the Cougars still need to,
19-16 is the score. Cougars up. 20-16 now.
You can tell that from that last shot where Tannehill overhit the ball that she was really angry about that, and that really helps her in concentration when she made that last kill.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Guffey came off the court again, but she's getting a lot of playing time in this first set, so I'm guessing that Coach Worsley saw something in her that he liked in the previous game and wanted to give her more playing time. Because when it is senior night, so usually you would see a lot of the seniors playing.
All right. Cougars 20, Pilots 17. Inside out. Number 15, Lena Reed Petrek to serve.
What's her name?
Petrasek. Petrasek. Sorry, excuse me.
I don't blame you. 21-17 now. Albany as Reggio Curley comes on for Poon Palma, number 11. And Brooke Tannehill is back to serve.
So 18 in, 3 out, and then 10 in, 6 out. Go ahead, ladies. That's 16, right? 2 more. 2 more sets. Coach.
21-18 now is the score. Albany is still ahead. And Obasi just pushes the ball over. Nice recovery there by Tannehill. But Reggio Curley is unable to get the spike or the slam or whatever she was trying to do. The kill.
We just need 4 more points.
Yeah, it's interesting that Worsley took Amber Erhan off the court. I'm guessing just he's trying to give her a little rest, but they could also really use her to, and there she's coming back onto the court now.
I think he's just following their regular rotation.
I think he's just listening to me. I said put Amber in, he puts Amber in.
Well, there you have it. Different serve, different approach.
Oh. Reggio Curley saw there was no one standing in the corner, and she kind of just pushes the ball over there. 23-19 now for Albany as a new Munkter serves. That one just...
Coach Worsley's not happy about that one.
Yeah,
that's a common mistake.
It was nowhere near the court.
Munkter just needs to drop her shoulder a little bit more to get that angle just right.
Yeah, 23-20 now, and it appears that the Pilots think they are trying to mount a comeback. Let's see if Albany is able to stop that. As another point for the Pilots, 23-21 now, and it's getting much closer.
And that ball was called out because it hit the antennas that are on the net, so that's not allowed.
Plus it landed out, so either way it would have been out. And another point now for the Pilots is Albany's lead is down to 1, and Worsley wisely calls a timeout, trying to regroup and finish off this set before they're going to... And the crowd is now starting a chant. They want to get something started here. They don't want this set to take any longer than it has to. The 25 points, I mean.
Right, they got those pom-poms and they're not afraid to use them. Just a reminder that today's broadcast is brought to you by GoPro, makers of small, wearable action sports cameras that go anywhere and attach to everything. The new HD Hero 3 Plus also has a live preview out, allowing us to switch to beautiful HD videos from backstops, backboards, goalposts, and more. The GoPro HD Hero 3 Plus. making heroes out of Albany Student Broadcasting since 2012. And we've had some great shots on the GoPro so far.
Yeah, the GoPro is really great. We have it right up there on the net, and it gets some really great action shots of blocking and slamming and spiking and whatever else. Oh, and there we go. The Pilots have tied the game at 23. Now, you have to win by 2 points, and it is the first one to 25. So, but unless someone scores 2 straight points, it could take more than 25.
I wonder what Coach Worsley told them when they were taking their timeout. And
I'm not sure, but apparently it didn't really work. And the Pilots score another point, making it 23-24, and that was quite a comeback by them. They had, I believe, they had a 4 or 5 point deficit and really just ran right through them, Albany.
You know, the Pilots are playing really smart with those angled shots, and they're really making the Cougars on edge.
Yeah, but there we go, a kill by Reggio Curley, tying the game at 24.
That was actually pretty lucky that it rolled off her hand instead of, her.
Instead of it slamming it, kind of, yeah, I agree. And
so the Cougars still have 2 more points to go.
Yeah, but Guffey is back in to serve, and I've still yet to see Asaya, so I'd probably have to say that she's injured. She's sitting over there on the...
She does have her jersey on.
Yeah.
But
oh, beautiful dig by
I think
Guffey.
Reggio Curley was playing it a little safe with that hit. But
and another point. 25-24 now for Albany. They need just 1 more point to scratch out a win in the first set.
Set point, Albany High School.
Roger just gave Tannehill really gave her some instructions on what to do.
Yeah, as
So let's see what he has in
Guffey's
store
going to
for
serve
her.
once more. Nice serve by Guffey. Oh, and what a block. It's really crucial time in the game. And another beautiful block by Reggio Curley as Albany wins the first set. In that set, really learned a lot about the Pilots, I'd have to say. It seems as they're a very resilient team, but as is Albany, they saw that the Pilots were trying to mount a comeback, and Albany said, no, we're going to win this game.
That's right, but it was very close. But I'm sure after the first game, after everybody gets out there for first game jitters, they'll better compose themselves, and they've learned from the other team as well what to do this time.
Exactly. So they're gonna now in between the sets, they're gonna regroup a little bit and try to.
Torpy Murray for Albany Student Broadcasting. If you like sports and want to learn more about TV broadcasting, you should consider taking broadcast journalism and engineering. It meets after school, so it fits nicely into your schedule.
This year we're covering fall, winter, and spring sports, as well as arts, music, and academic events.
If you are more interested in what goes on behind the camera, you could do what these guys do. If you're looking for an overall hands-on television experience, think about broadcast journalism and engineering.
You have unusually large shoes to fill, so get on it. So as we get ready for the second set, we look for another high-paced game as the first set saw a comeback by the Pilots, but ultimately Albany was able to stop it and squeak out with a win, 26-24.
And if you'll notice, the audience, the side that the Cougars were previously on, have moved to the other side with the Albany Cougars.
That's right.
So, you know, they're even willing to get up and move with the team. You know, that's how dedicated those fans are.
We don't have lazy fans. And the starting lineup for the Albany Cougars has number 2, Christine Lagosto Miller, number 3, Brooke Tannehill, number 4, Sarah Obasi, number 6, Beniti Izu Alcobia, number 8, Anu Munkter, and number 9, Shannon Reggio Curley. And quickly, Albany's on the board with their first point. And the lineup for the Pilots is number 1, Emma Dowd, number 7, Rebecca Legowski, number 5, Maddie Dowd, number 18, Jill Taylor, number 10, Dana Pineda, and number 8, Alexa Martinez. So point there for the Pilots is tied at 1.
Nice up by Reggio Curley, and outside hit for Reggio
But
Curley.
it was blocked by the Pilots. Albany cannot recover from that as the Pilots take a 2-1 lead.
Which team? I believe the Pilots have a taller team overall than the Cougars do. What do you think?
That's what it would appear like, but as you said earlier, height is not everything.
That's true.
And Amber goes for the kill again, and again number 5 with the block. What's her name? Maddie Dowd, the senior, who is a captain, one of their tall players, like you said. One of many. Munkter kind of just throws it up there, and it goes out, and Reggio Curley is unable to recover from that one as she hit it outside of the tennis.
I don't think there's been a single time that running that one has not worked.
Yeah. Amber has done a marvelous job tonight. Can't tell you how many kills she has, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's a lot.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Aaron.
As number 16, Jillian Guffey, comes in to serve.
Nice up by Tannehill.
And the Pilots thought that one was out, but it was ruled that it was in, not out. Started to sound like Tim McCarver.
You know, it's interesting that Izu Alcobia comes in for, goes out for Guffey right when she has to serve. You know, I think I've seen Izu Alcobia serve a couple times. She doesn't seem like a
Yeah, I don't know.
server.
I don't know. I think it's more that Coach Worsley not that Izu Alcobia can't serve. I think Coach Worsley just really likes the way that Guffey has been serving tonight, or not only tonight, but maybe in the past as well.
But then we are seeing Asaya in the game.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. We also haven't seen Brooke, or I mean, I guess Brooke has been on the court the whole time, so she kind of just serves when it's her turn.
We haven't seen Angie Black.
Yeah, we haven't seen Angie Black, and we mentioned Maggie McKenna is injured.
Yeah.
So it's been mostly the seniors tonight with Lagosto, Miller, and Guffey, as well as Obasi.
Yeah, Obasi and Arahan do
Play the same position. So
tend to switch out off and on.
And the score now is 3 Albany, 7 Pilot, or St. Joe's. So Albany's going to really have to try get back in this one. I mean, they're only down by 4 points, but in a game like this, that's a lot. Beautiful kill there by Arahan. As number
And you
11.
got people in the crowd standing up for the team.
Yeah, they're really excited here tonight. Poon Palmo now subs in for Reggio Curley. I don't know, does Worsley not like the way that Reggio Curley serves either?
You know, he keeps her for front row attacking. She's a very strong outside hitter. I think that's where he wants her.
Yeah, and Poon Palmo has done a marvelous job tonight with serves as she gets an ace there.
And she's a back row player, so it's a natural position for her to be in.
5-7 now, Albany. Or 5-7 now, St. Joseph, rather. That one goes way out, and 6-7 now is the score. St. Joe's still with the lead.
You know, another player we haven't seen yet on the court is Maddie Bernard.
Yeah, I really haven't seen a lot of Maddie Bernard in any of the games I've been at so far this season.
You know, as a JV player, when she was on the JV team, which was last year and the year before, she was the setter. But, you know, we have Legaster Miller.
Exactly.
And, you know, Legaster Miller reminds me a lot of former senior setter Mackenzie Giblin, who's in the crowd somewhere here
Yeah,
tonight.
I saw her today, too, with her daughter. And St. Joseph called a timeout because Albany has tied the game at 7.
The 2013 Albany High School women's tennis team has a busy week, taking on Pinole Valley at home today, San Leandro tomorrow, and back home against El Cerrito on Thursday, October 24th. The women's team has a perfect 11-0 record season in TCAL play, which is really great for the team. It's nice to see another sport besides volleyball excelling in there.
Yeah, well, now we see a shot of the crowd, but just previously there was a shot of Jillian Guffey, and we've talked a lot about her tonight because of how much playing time she's gotten and how well she's been serving. And she is a freshman, and she's the only freshman on the varsity team, so it's quite a feat for her, and it's definitely, she's only been playing volleyball for 3.5 years, which makes sense because most of the players have start in middle school, and she's only a freshman now. But the reason she did start playing volleyball was because of her sister who played volleyball.
Yeah, that's interesting, and we mentioned before that Dana Reggio Curley, Shannon's little sister, is also has taken to the sport too, and that's probably due to, you know, Shannon's interested in it.
Yeah, but getting back to Guppy, she said that one of the most valuable things that she has learned in high school is that age and grade really don't mean anything because, I mean, she's a freshman on the varsity team, and she was saying that when she first made the team, she was terrified to play with the juniors and the seniors, but everyone
They've been really welcome to her.
Yeah, they've really welcomed her, and I really think the leadership of Tannehill and Arahan have helped her develop, and as we see now, as we're nearing the end of the season, she's getting a lot of playing time. So she's definitely going to be a player to watch over the coming years, see how she develops. So now the score is 9-8 Albany.
Still a really close game.
Yeah.
After watching the first game, what Albany really needs to do is, one, do just that, run Arahan a lot when she's in the front row.
Yeah, I think what Albany really needs to do is they really just need to give what the defense is giving them. Like we saw in that play, Amber saw a hole and kind of just tapped it over as opposed to slamming it.
Yeah, they need to play a little smarter, not just, hitting the ball down over and over again.
I mean, that can work, but I mean, if you hit it right to a player, they're gonna hit they're gonna do something with it.
Yeah, and being on varsity, all these players are experts on which spots in the court are the weakest in terms of the other team's defense.
Yeah, as right now the number 8 Munkter, the libero, comes onto the court for Arahan, as Albany has a 2-point lead, 11-9.
But side out, unfortunately, as the ball is hit out, and now we only have a 1-point lead.
11-10, yeah. Oh, nice kill there by Obasi. She's definitely going to be a player that to watch next year when Arahan is gone. She'll get a lot more playing time, and hopefully she will prosper.
Let's hope she grows a little more too, huh? That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Lagosto Miller now is the server. Albany has a 2-point lead, 12-10.
She's a really strong player all out.
We talked about Lagosto Miller. We're talking about Obasi.
Lagosto Miller.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we said, she's a setter on the team, and she's such a good setter that we haven't even seen Bernard play.
Right. But Lagosto Miller, she isn't always consistent, so that's something that she'll need to work on.
Yeah, that's you're right.
And she's a sophomore.
Yeah, so she does have 2 years to work on that. She'll serve once more. Albany with 3-point lead at 13-10.
They attempted a triple block at the net, but went right over their heads.
And Tannehill hits it just a little bit too hard.
She's done that a couple times. She can't let herself get so worked up.
Yeah.
And Coach Worsley just signaled to her to curl her hand over when she hits the ball so it goes straight down instead of far back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Close call there.
Yeah, Obasi was just barely able to hit it. As number 1 on the Pilots.
Not even close.
Dowd, yeah, just hits the net straight up. Albany now has a 3-point lead at 14-11 as number 9, Reggio Curley, comes on for number 11, Boone Palmo.
Yeah, Reggio Curley seems to come in when it's time to move to the front row for that player's position. They're pushing that ball. They really like that play.
Another point for Albany, 15-11 now.
That kill basically pushed that player backwards almost.
Yeah, quite powerful. So a new Munkder, number 8, who is the bearer on the team and one of the seniors. She's been playing volleyball for only 5 years, which is quite a difference between some of the other seniors on the team, like Tannehill and Arahan, who have been playing for all of middle school and all of high school.
Yeah, she's tried out a bunch of different sports, and if you'll remember from Maddie Bernard's speech, she said that Munkder is able to excel at everything that she's tried to accomplish, in terms of sports like basketball and things like that. So, but when she picked volleyball, she became really dedicated to it.
Yeah, she said though that her and Coach Worsley kind of have a love-hate relationship. They understand each other though, and I'm sure that Munkder respects the coach.
And if you just saw there, that was a really smart move by our setter, Lagosto Miller. So it seems like the Cougars are starting to learn from the Pilots and taking...
Yeah, as Albany now has a 7-point lead, or make that 6-point lead, but it is the largest lead that either team has had tonight.
And Tannehill keeps, she's a little overpowered this time. She's got herself worked up.
Yeah, I feel like she's getting a little bit too excited with the crowd here and the atmosphere and everything.
Yeah, they don't usually have this kind of turnout with all the cheering. It must be a little distracting.
Yeah, it's great though.
And the ball just, it didn't work for Reggio Curley because as she tried to set that ball up to her players, to her team,
went down.
She stepped backwards, so it didn't work.
Yeah, 19-13 now for Albany as Arahan comes back in for number 4, Sarah Obasi.
And Munkder to serve.
Yeah. Oh,
solid block
there
by Arahan and
20-13 now. In the first set it was really a close game, but it seems like Albany is beginning to run away with this one. Well, I don't want to say anything. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Well, you're right in some aspects, but this is definitely no time for the Cougars to relax.
No, of course not. And nice block there by the Pilots, making it 20-15 now. Albany.
You know, in terms of player talent and the skills that both teams have, I think they're pretty much
Evenly
equal.
matched, yeah.
But what might be setting the Pilots behind is lack of, you know, if you're behind, then you get, something in your mind.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. It's kind of, it's the mindset that's.
Yeah, a certain mindset.
Yeah, like we've mentioned it with the way that Tannehill has been playing tonight hasn't been up to par or up to the par that she has set, and that might be a result of her mindset. I mean, you make a couple of bad hits, and next thing you know, you're feeling bad, and it just keeps going. It's kind of like an endless spiral you're getting. But
what the Pilots really need was what they really needed was that last killer ace by Emma Dowd.
Oh, and when in doubt, you could set it up to Amber Arahan, and you know she will get the kill. As Albany now has a 21-17 lead, and Pilots are making a little bit of a comeback, and Guffey is back in to serve.
Yeah, as a middle hitter, Amber really has that play down, and it's generally a really difficult type of hit to do, but she definitely has no problem with that.
Hit it with your chest, folks, a 9, when she came down. Did you get 25?
Definitely a high, fast-paced, intense game we're witnessing tonight.
Definitely.
21-18 Albany, but as soon as any team tries to slip away with the lead, the other team seems to just come back into it and make it a close game once more.
What we need is for us to get this next point to get side out so that we have the advantage with the serve.
And it is in. Wow. I mean, it's hard to tell from this angle, but that definitely looked out.
And the linesperson is apologizing to
Albany, yeah.
To Albany. I think she's one of the JV players. I'm not sure if she's wearing a sweatshirt over her clothes, but anyway, back to the game. Nice set by Munkter. Look, Ostermiller struggled to set that, and she set it to no one, but we recovered quickly.
Yeah.
Lots of net action.
Oh, that was just where the defense couldn't reach it.
Yeah, that was there was another smart shot. You know, there's a
lot
lot of
play by Reggio Curley.
Yeah, there's a lot of net action, and everybody sort of creeps up when that's happening to cover their players who are jumping up. So, yeah.
Yeah, and now that Reggio Curley comes off as she was in line to serve and Poon Palma comes back on once again. I've seen this a couple of times tonight. 22-19 is the score.
Ooh, they weren't expecting that at all. I think they're underestimating how high Amber Arahan can jump.
I think they really just don't understand that Amber is a great player. Timeout now as each team will try to regroup, and Albany is going to try to end this set.
Yeah, two more points to go.
So, as it is senior night tonight, or this earlier today at school, you can see this photo, but the seniors were wearing their crowns because they are obviously royalty, and the underclassmen were wearing shirts supporting the seniors and telling them how they bow down to them and how they are the best.
And you'll notice right down in the middle on the ground is freshman Jillian Guffey in a banana suit. And actually, well, they made her do that because she's the only freshman on the team, and it's better than egging them. It's not not so serious. But then also, unfortunately, we didn't get a shot of this. But when the players were running in to start up their warm-ups, Jillian Guffey was wearing her banana suit.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny. Too bad we didn't have a shot of that. But Poon Palmo serving now. 2 more points to get the win for Albany, and there's an ace.
Set points, Albany High School.
As I've mentioned before, Poon's serve is pretty, basic, but occasionally it does float back and forth as it travels over the net, which is a really great serve to have.
Well, there's a point for the Pilots, and they bring in number 3, Ali Euler, or I don't know how to say that. But anyway, she comes in so she could serve for the Pilots.
Yeah, they're still not giving up hope.
I mean, there's no reason to. They're down by 4 points, but I mean, we saw in the last game how resilient they are. And Aber hit just a little bit too much power on that one, 24-21 now.
Even though it was clearly out, the players on the Cougars always try their best to try to get that point anyway. They were trying to call a tip off the other team, but they sort of knew that wasn't going to happen. But still, it's an instinct to try to get that point.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, and what a block there by number 15 for the Pilots. And their size comes into factor once more. Albany does still have a 2-point lead, but they really need to try to put this set away, because just a couple more points and be tied. Can't let that happen if you're Albany. Amber Arahan looks as if she was going to slam the ball down, spike it. She just floats it over.
Yeah. That was a right call by the ref. Arahan did lift that ball. So point Pilots.
Yeah, 24-23 now. Appears as Albany, or Amber especially, is getting a little frustrated. You can't let that get to your head. You have to play out this next point and hope you can get the win in this set.
Great net action right there, and Tannehill for the kill.
Yeah. Oh, and 3 Albany players dive for the ball but are unable to make contact. And what do you know? The Pilots have tied the game at 24.
And now that side is hyped up, and the Cougars are looking worried. They just got to get it in their heads that it doesn't mean that they're losing. They just got to pull it together.
Exactly. Oh, and Arahan slams it a little too hard. The Pilots are making a strong. Well, there goes the crowd trying to hype up the players, letting them know this game's not over yet.
And a struggle on the Pilot side to regain the ball.
Yeah, but they've had quite a run. They've got 4 or 5 straight points. And there's a point for Albany, tying the game at 25. But as you know, you need 2 points to win. So Obasi comes on for the libero, Munkter.
Even though Arahan was upset over those last couple points, he still has her serving in the back row.
Exactly.
Because he knows that she can handle herself.
Oh, that was a close one.
Wow, I didn't expect that to be a point for the Cougars.
Yeah, they got lucky there, but they gotta capitalize on that. They can't let this game slip away.
Watch this one.
So the game's tied again at 26, and Arahan cannot believe it. As she comes off for the libero.
And Tannehill's trying to drum up the Cougars.
Yeah, she's the captain of this team. She's trying to make sure they know what's going on. I mean, this has been quite a game, back and forth, as Albany gets another point now, 27-26 set point. And it is now number 2, Lagosto Miller's turn to serve, and number 16, Guffey, will come off for Izu Alcobia.
And we only have 2 seniors on the court as of now.
Yeah, that's surprising. Oh, and a kill by number 4, Sarah. Oh, wait. Whoa, wait a minute.
Apparently the call was that the Cougars touched the ball 4 times, so side out and point to the Pilots. Now, number 15, Lena Reed Petrasek, she's a really strong player, so I'm not surprised that she's in the back serving. And
a bit of confusion on the Pilot side as they run into each other, but they are able to recover.
And the ball hit the net, but did not hit the players on the other side. So point Pilots.
Yeah, and now it's set point for the Pilots. 28-27. That is out. Tying the game once more. What a game we're witnessing right now.
I'm sure the Cougars were relieved when she made that enforced error.
Yeah, they got lucky there, and they need to really capitalize on that.
And Tannehill's taking a deep breath before she serves because she knows how important this is.
And it's blocked by the Pilots, giving them the edge now at 29-28.
You know, they should always have someone back there covering the back row.
Yeah, it's really a shame to see the ball drop like that. And there we go, but a kill by Izu Alcobia, and Arahan is going to come back on the court for Sarah Obasi, and we have, once again, the game is tied. Seems like I've said this for thousandth time.
Yeah, 29-29. That's 4 points over, 25. What you need to get. So this is really close game.
There's almost like a playoff or NCS atmosphere here as the crowd goes wild, and Albany gets another point, 30-29, set point now.
And Shannon's sister was holding up that sign in support of her sister. And Munter to serve.
Oh.
Great up by Munter. She's always there covering the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the libero's there for, right? And a little confusion on the Albany side, but they are able to recover. Nice block by Arahan, and the kill! And Albany wins 31-29. Wow.
Great set.
That was a terrific set we just watched, and the crowd goes wild as a result, and it's no surprise as we just witnessed a great game set. It's not over yet. So, earlier this week, we had our own
Kat Sipowet.
Kat Supawit,
who covered
the Albany tennis team and how they're performing this season. So
yeah, women's tennis, as we mentioned earlier, they have a perfect record, as well as our own Albany Cougar volleyball players. So Kat,
take it away.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hello, I'm Kat Supawit for Albany Student Broadcasting, reporting from the Memorial Tennis Courts. Today, the Albany High School women's tennis team is playing the St. Mary's Panthers. Midway through the season, the Cougars are undefeated. So what has been their key to their success this year, and what are their prospects for future championship play? So how has the team prepared for the season?
Well, we have practice every day, and I think the girls work really hard to play their best for these matches.
Well, this was our one really big match, so we've been working really hard at practices and our other games to prepare for this seniors match.
And how do you think?
Same, we've been working really hard at practice to do our best at this match, and I think it's showed. So.
With an undefeated team halfway through the season, what has been the key to the team's success?
I think we communicate well with each other, and in practices we have a lot of fun, and we kind of take things light, but also get down to it when we have to. So.
And Sammy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at the beginning of the season, it's always hard because we have a new team, but I think that we've really come together through the season.
Do you think the team has been challenged enough by TCAL to be ready for NCS?
Definitely. I think with the way we're playing right now, we could do really well in NCS.
I mean, yeah, we've been playing a lot of really good matches, a lot of really close matches, so I think we're prepared.
And Molly, how do you feel?
I'd agree. Yeah.
And what do you think the future holds for the AHS women's tennis team next season?
I think we're going to do really well. I think we definitely have a shot at being undefeated next season.
I think we're prepared to keep going, and the team will still carry on and be really good without us, so I'm excited to see where they go.
And Sammy?
Yeah, I agree. We have a lot of underclassmen that are looking really strong for next season.
Well, thank you for talking with me, both of you.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the game. I'm really excited for our women's tennis players, aren't you?
Yeah, I did not know they were undefeated, but it's great that they are.
Yeah, and hopefully
Don't
they'll
watch much tennis myself, but
right, and hopefully they'll move on to whatever comes next.
NCS, right?
NCS, yeah.
But as for volleyball, we just witnessed a great set as Albany was able to squeak by with another 2-point win, 31-29, and they won the first set 26-24, right?
Right, yeah.
And they're going to try to wrap it up in this third set, but it won't be easy.
Definitely no.
St. Joseph has put up quite a fight.
And just to say their starting lineup doesn't look too much different. They have number 3, Ali Oliar, number 19, Olivia Ballesteros, number 6,
Ballesteros.
Kobe Alston, number 7, Rebecca Langowski, and number 5, Captain Maddie Dowd, and number 8, the libero, Alexa Martinez, who's also another captain.
Yeah, as the crowd begins a Let's Go Pilots cheer, but that didn't last long as Albany quickly put that to rest.
It's always fun when both sides, try to shout each other.
Yeah, well, there's definitely more Albany fans at the game tonight, as it is a home game for Albany. So definitely a little bit louder. As who was serving that? Was it Munter? I believe. I don't know. I didn't quite see, but they couldn't make it over the net. As the game is now tied at 1. Nope. Albany, yeah, tied at 1.
And the call was that player number 7, I believe, touched the net on the pilot side, so point Albany.
Yeah, they're up 2-1. Oh, what a kill by Araha. Seems like we've said that a lot tonight, as she's having a great game.
Definitely, and the look on her face after she made that kill, she's her mind
pumped up.
her mind is past it. She's already ready to move on to the next one. Oh, and Asaya is in finally to serve.
Yeah, I guess she got past her injury, or I'm not sure what's going on, but it's a good thing. It's always good to see Asaya in, as she is. She leads the league in aces per set, which is pretty impressive.
Well, you know, and it was also nice to see Guffey in
Yeah.
because she hadn't been getting much playing time versus Asaya, so I think Coach Worsley wanted to sort of space them out.
Yeah, but she's really performed admirably, and it's definitely going to be something to watch over the next couple of years, as she's only a freshman and has a lot of time to still develop. Oh, and nice kill once again by Erhan. Just barely got it in the corner.
And Poon Palmo on the Cougars, just to serve. Great short serve that really caught the libero by surprise.
Yeah. She was able to recover though, but
And number 10 on the Pilots, she tried to set that ball over the net, but it was a double, so point Albany. And the score is 5-2, Cougars in the lead.
there's a point for Pilots though. 5-3 now.
So 20 in and 5 out.
Erhan's tying her shoe. Hopefully
You know,
they won't
sometimes
start.
players do that on purpose to just, you know, take a moment to compose themselves, but
But
I
are
think-
you allowed to serve while the other players sign their shoe?
no.
You're not? Oh. just
No,
kidding.
because the refs are always watching them, so they have to wait for the refs' whistle to serve. And sometimes players get so, you know, caught up in the game that they just forget about waiting for the ref signal.
Yeah. 6-3 now is the score. Albany is ahead.
Substitution, number 3 for 18 on the Pilots and number 6 for number 10, Pilots. And number 3, Ali Oylar is in to serve. Really tight set from Legasto Miller to Tannehill, but Tannehill's able to pull off an angled shot.
Yeah, we've mentioned that a couple times tonight about Augusta Miller's setting.
Like, she's a really powerful player, definitely in her serving, and also a little bit too much in her setting.
Augusta Miller to serve now. 7-4 is the score. Albany is ahead.
He's been...
And that one is just barely in. It hits the line.
Uh,
7-5 now is the score. Albany has a 2-point lead.
You know, number 1 on Emma Dowd on the Pilot side, she's a really strong player, and she's only a sophomore. And her sister, Maddie Dowd, is one of the taller ones, so she plays middle. But as an outside hitter, Emma gets a lot of playing time, and that really shows.
Yeah, well, I think it definitely helps that you have a sister on the varsity team with you to help you develop and teach you and everything. I mean,
And that should not have happened.
yeah.
Somebody should have been there to cover
Albany
that.
has lost their lead as the Pilots have tied the game now at 7. Seems like this has happened a couple times. Albany tries to pull away, and they simply can't.
And in order for those two players to avoid colliding into each other, they stop trying for the ball. And, you know, Munkter, when that happens, she just keeps going and hopes that that her teammates move out of the way, because she's just that, you know, her eye is always on the ball.
Yeah, let's see, Reggio Curley now subs in. She is she is one of the seniors on the team, and she's also been on the varsity team for all 4 years of her career. Right, yeah.
Right.
And she plays acceleration volleyball, which is club volleyball when she's not playing high school volleyball. So she's really playing volleyball kind of all year round.
Yeah, and that gives her an edge over the other players. But, you know, so pretty much everybody on the varsity team plays club volleyball.
Yeah, and I think that really is one of the reasons that they have played so well, because they gain valuable experience, valuable playing time, valuable knowledge by playing club volleyball. They kind of work on their game all year round, as opposed to just during the high school volleyball season. And because so many players play, so many of the seniors, or just the whole volleyball team, play club sports. Wasn't watching the score for a second, and quickly Albany is now losing 11-9. The Pilots are ahead. And Worsley is giving some instructions to Erhan, making sure she knows what to do.
Yeah, he is their eyes and ears on the court. He has a slightly different perspective from them, and he's really able to help them out.
Yeah,
and Reggio Curley tries to argue that point towards for the Cougars, but unfortunately she did go under the net, and the ref was there to see that. So, side out.
Yeah, and the Pilots, I don't know if it's the way the Pilots have been playing or the way that Albany has been playing, but something has changed between sets, and the Pilots have been playing very well, and as a result, the Albany crowd has been mostly silent.
I think it's mostly attitude of each team and what they're feeling as a team as a whole, because the Pilots know that they need to win this set.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose this set, the game's over.
Yeah.
Albany wins in 3 sets. I mean, but if you win it, then it's 2-1, and you can still get back into it. But Albany is mounting a little bit of a comeback, as it's 11-12. Not much to come back from, but they're getting back into the game. Only down by 1 now.
And let's see to which player Asaya serves this ball.
It's very comforting knowing Asaya is in the game now, though, for Albany.
You know, she hit that ball right over to the libero, but that was just as the setter runs up to the net. So that's a really smart play. Unfortunately, didn't work out for that point, but you know, it might accidentally hit the setter. Who knows?
12-12 as Albany ties the score now.
Outside hit from Maddie Dowd. And Asaya to serve once again. She's been really holding her own there. You know, Erhan and Reggio Curley could have blocked that ball if they hadn't just jumped a little too early, and that's a common thing for players to do, is to jump in anticipation of the other team's hit.
Yeah, well, as a result, the game is tied once more at 13. And it seems like we are going to have another very close game. And once again, it looks as if, just from what I've seen so far, that 25 points might not cut it to win.
That's very true. It could go to 29-31 as I believe the first
That was the second set. The first set was 26-24.
Oh, gotcha. Great up by Poon Palmo.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, you'll hear players saying nice up or things like that.
Nice block there by Erhan. Seems like the crowd has lost a little bit of its energy.
Oh, I think they're just so riveted by the game, they just don't have time to and you know, it's a very fast-paced game, as we said before.
Yeah, Albany's up 15-13 now, and it seemed just a second ago that it was tied.
Nice up by Saya. And they're running that one as much as they can, which is really great.
We're talking about Albany?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you have Erhan, that one almost always works.
And the score is 15-14. Albany is still in the lead, but still a very, very close game.
Erhan gives what the defense gives her and just kind of taps it in between the players.
Yeah, it was a smart thing to do because she was a little late on that jump. So, and if you can't get the timing right, it's, you know, might as well just try something else. Don't go for that shot.
Yeah. 16-14 now, score Albany ahead. A little bit of a block there, 17-14.
Yeah, number 15, Reed Petrasek, thought she could just get that ball over, but she underestimated the Cougars.
So if the ball hits the net, you're allowed to, like if you hit it over and it doesn't quite make it, then you can hit it, and it hits the net, you can hit it again to, try to make it over, right?
No, you can't.
No?
If when the ball hits the net, if that's the third time that the ball has touched that team, then they can't. That's called
Yeah. What if it's only done twice?
If it's twice, then yeah, they can get it over, but they have to get it over in the next point.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, either way, you only have 3 hits.
But if you hit it over the net and the other team blocks it back onto your side, but you still recover the ball, then it sort of restarts over, and you have again 3 times to get the ball over.
Yeah.
Great question.
Libero, number 8 for the Pilots, appeared to have touched that one, so that is a point for Albany, as Jillian Guffey, number 16, comes off the court for number 6, Beniti Izu Alcobia. And Lagosco Miller is back to serve. Albany has a 3-point lead at 18-15.
You know, every time Obasi hits the ball and she gets a point for the Cougars, she just looks a little surprised. I think she should have some more confidence in herself.
Yeah, well, we've mentioned it a couple times that we are hoping that she could be the player to kind of take over Amber's role as the middle hitter. So if you are going to have that role, you're definitely going to need some confidence.
Yeah, and following in Amber's in Erhan's footsteps, you know, it's a daunting thing, you know.
Yeah, especially since Erhan was following in Holt's footsteps, so you got some big shoes to fill. But she's played very well thus far tonight, I'd say.
I'd totally say that too. And Obasi tries to save the ball, but
yeah. It's 19-17 now, Albany. It seems as if this set is moving a little bit quicker. There's less long rallies, and it's more of shorter rallies, I guess.
Yeah, I think Tannehill, with that kill, she just wants to finish this.
Yeah. There she goes up for it again, but there, once more, it appears as if the Pilot size helps them as they've gotten numerous blocks.
Well, and they keep running into the net, which, you know, helps the Cougars out a lot.
Yeah.
And I've really got to commend Lagasto Miller. You know, she's been in this game almost 99% of the time because she's our main setter.
Uh-huh.
And And while she still has some things to work out, so does everybody else really. I think she's done a great job.
Yeah, I've also noticed it appears as if Augusta Miller has gotten almost all the playing time from the setter's position.
Yeah, who's even our other setter?
Maddie Bernard.
Yeah.
But
so
I feel like we have a third setter, don't we?
I feel like we do too. But
I
you
don't
know
know
what?
who that
We
is.
don't know because Augusta Miller has just been
Playing, yeah.
center court. Yeah.
And I mean, it's no easy task to play 3 games. It appears that she's a bit fatigued, but she's not letting that get in her way. She's still working hard. Not sure what happened there, but Munter kind of hit it way out of bounds, and Albany couldn't really do anything to recover. And now the Pilots have a 19, tied at 19 is the score.
Yeah, they could have tried to go for a bicycle kick with their foot, but just wasn't in.
That's a difficult thing to do anyway.
Yeah. The Cougars seem to be playing it a little safe.
Yeah, I'm not noticing them trying to go for the kill and more just playing defensively, which is not what you want to do at this time, at this juncture in the game.
You can hear the Pilots, their hitters are calling for ones. I believe it was senior and captain Maddie Dabb calling for that one. They haven't really been taking advantage of that kind of shot like Erhan has been doing, but maybe they're not as good as pulling that off.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Erhan hasn't been in the game for a little bit, and as a result, they've been Albany at least has been calling less of that one. But 21-20 is now the score. The Pilots are ahead by 1, and Erhan comes onto the court for Abassi as they're trying to put this game away, set away.
And Munter's just the right server to do that. Or maybe not, as she does hit the ball long.
18 in, 3 out, 10 in, 6 out. How are we doing on subs over here? They got a lot left? What are we up to? Coach, you're at 16 subs.
Do you know what the max number of subs you're allowed to have?
There is a max number. However, it's I've never seen a game where that has happened where they've run out of substitutions.
So today's broadcast is brought to you by the City of Albany, KALB 33, supporting community television and providing Albany citizens with broadcasts of local, social, and political events. City of Albany, KALB 33.
And that's where you can find our broadcasts.
That is where you can find our broadcasts.
I believe we air
Friday nights and Sunday mornings.
Fridays at 8 and Sundays at 11 a.m.
And Worsley, I think, called that timeout there as Albany's down by 3. They really need to get back into this game because
they do not want to go to a fourth set.
Exactly. Anything can happen. Once you go into a fourth set, who knows what can happen. Albany really wants to put away this game now.
And I see some smiles on the Pilot side. I wonder what they got up their sleeves.
I don't know. But Worsley's going with his best lineup as all 4 seniors are in, along with the libero,
16 in, 6
Anu
out.
Munter, and their number 1 setter, Christine Augusta Miller. And quickly, Benito Izu Alcobia subs out for number 16, Jillian Guffey, who has been the primary server tonight.
Nice up by Guffey. She hasn't been in the game consistently, like Augusta Miller has, but she can just run in and out of the game and just play as if she was in there the whole time.
Set point, Pilots.
Now it is set point for the Pilots. They're up 24-21, and Albany really needs to mount a bit of a comeback. Only a 3-point comeback, but still a comeback in its own. And Wood Tannehill hits it off the side of her arm, and that is the set. The Pilots have won this one. So it looks like we'll be playing one more at least.
Yeah. When this happens with the Cougars, usually it's due to the Cougars, thinking, oh, it's in the bag, we're going to win this. But not this time. Like we said before, these two teams are pretty evenly matched. And I think it just depends on the attitude that they carry with them throughout the whole match.
The Cougar volleyball team closes out the season later this week.
So,
at El Cerrito
the 2013 Albany football team is still searching for their first win of the season. As they play Richmond this Friday, their next home game will be the homecoming game on Friday, November 1st at 7 p.m.
Yeah, let's wish them some luck and hope that they get as good a turnout as we have here today in the audience. I'm sure that the players are really grateful for all the support that they've been getting.
Yeah, I mean, unlike this volleyball team, who is 8-0 in league play, the Cougar football team has not been as successful, so they really need our support to go out and help them get their first win. And Coach Worsley looks like he's having a very deep conversation over there with a lot of hand gestures and whatnot, as Albany really wants to win this next set. If they let it get to the 5th set, then anything can happen there.
Yeah, he knows how good his team is. He knows that they could have done better, and I'm sure he's letting them know that.
Yeah, he knows that they could have won that last set. They just made a couple mistakes, and they need to fix those mistakes and come out this next set strong.
I wonder if he's going to change his lineup a bit. Usually, the players that he puts out on the court first are his strongest players, and then later on he subs in some more experienced players. But I wonder if he's going to try to give them a break. I wonder if it's just they're tired or something. And if we're going to see players like Maddie Bernard and
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but I get the feeling that Maggie McKenna might be a setter, and which might be the reason why Augusta Miller has had so much playing time tonight, because as we mentioned earlier, McKenna is on crutches and cannot play.
I think you're right about that, definitely.
And I think, Augusta Miller hasn't played great, but I think she's done a great job for the amount of time she's been out there. You could definitely tell that she's tired, but she's still giving it her all.
Yeah, and that's, nothing short of what Coach Worsley expects of her. So, this team is varsity team. They're not going to be too shaken by this. They are going to be on the lookout, though, definitely more on guard than they usually would be. But, things like this shouldn't shake them up too much versus, on JV team, when one person sort of, is not doing well, then the whole team goes down with them.
Yeah. Well, this is the kind of time when you're going to really need that senior leadership of Tannehill and Arahan and whatnot to rally this team together and stick together and get this win.
Yeah, we've got three of our seniors here on court right now, and I'm sure that Arahan is going to come in soon for a bossy in the next point.
Exactly. The Pilots will start with the ball.
So this is one of the few, if not the only set that Albany has lost this year, which is
quite
surprising to the team.
Yeah, it's surprising to the team because they've won so many, but going into this match, we knew that it was not going to be an easy game for Albany. As we said, the St. Joseph Pilots are second in the league at 6-2, so they are the second best team.
And then 10 for 6.
And they coming in, we knew they were going to put up a fight.
You know, with the St. Patrick St. Vincent game, we thought, you know, the same thing would happen, but definitely this team tops the St. Patrick St. Vincent.
Exactly. There we go, a kill by Arahan, making it 3-1 now.
You know, I think I see what the Cougars, what their plan is for this game. They really need to rely and count on speed. Because you saw how quickly that kill went from Arahan.
Yeah, well, in the end of the last set, it appeared as if they were getting a bit defensive, and you can't really do that when you're playing such a good team. You need to.
Well, you know, they don't want to make any unforced errors. You know, that's just the worst thing when you hit the ball out on a match point or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, they should have more confidence in themselves. And the call was a double from Legasto Miller, and you know that's really difficult. She was running towards the back of the court, and she had to side. You know, make a side set, which is, you know, extremely difficult because she can't see where she's setting the ball.
So just a reminder, today marked the first day of homecoming with the preliminary powder puff game between the juniors and the freshmen. Juniors came out with a 14-0 win, and tomorrow we'll watch as the seniors take on the sophomores in what is sure to be quickly but nonetheless rowdy of a game. Next week, the other festivities will begin, including the interclass games, dress-up days, and of course, lip sync.
Ruggiero Curley has been off her game a little bit.
Yeah, I think she came out strong in the first set, and since then it appeared that she has been off. You're right. What a kill. Nope. Was it out?
Hold on
just
here.
happened?
19 for 1, go ahead. And then on this side, it's 11 for 9.
What was on this side?
4-3
right
score? I
Yeah,
guess.
the score is 3-4 Cougars.
You have to get it from there.
Or there's some confusion there on the pilot side as the ball just drops in between two players.
No, it was as if Arahan was, you know, shooting backwards, you know, on a basketball court. You know, she was hoping that it would get right, and, you know, make a swish, and you know, and it ended up happening.
The block there by Arahan, making it 5-4, and now it seems that Arahan has been a part of nearly every point scored for the Cougars. It's really central point, focus point of this team.
Yeah, there's no reason not to use her. I mean, the team doesn't have extremely tall players to block her every hit. So, you know, they're really taking advantage of her.
Yeah, and there we go is another block by Arahan, making it 6-4 now for Albany. And she's really putting the team on her back a little bit. Called for the run and did not get it, but Albany nonetheless got the score, got the point.
Tannehill with that kill, she nearly knocked that player over.
Yeah, that was mighty powerful.
A call that was made by the referees, I think having to do with the linesperson. The refs are just checking on that now. And the Cougars, you know, they're so busy on the court while they're playing and working so hard to get each point. They are also just really watching out for every single little thing that could potentially give them another point.
And now the Albany bench has begun a Let's Go Cougars chant, and the crowd quickly
joins in, and they're trying to get something, a little bit of a rally started here, and Albany really needs this win. So the refs just
So now we're back in the game with Palmo to serve.
Just as a yeah, did you on that one? Did you give a point?
We're not quite ready to go as the refs get. Oh, now we are. Okay.
So just put a.
So 7-4 is the score. Albany has to Poon Palmo to serve.
As we've said before, Palmo has always been a really reliable server with that great float serve. And there's something interesting to note that as a sophomore, she still has 2 more years to go, but Coach Worsley usually makes all of his players learn how to do a jump float serve or a jump serve in general, which can
so
definitely give them
Go ahead,
an edge over the other team, just because the higher you are, the more angled of a shot, of a serve that you can do. But her serve is just so reliable. I can see why Coach Worsley always has her in there, and always has her in the back too, because she's one of the main defensive specialist players. Obviously, with a new Munter as the most main one as the libero. But
yeah, well, Poon has only played Poon Palmo has only played volleyball for 3 years, so she is relatively new to the sport. But she said that she's definitely learned a lot from high school volleyball, and one main thing that she has learned is pain is temporary, but pride lasts forever. Very interesting. Some senior words there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sophomore.
3 in, 18 out.
The score
6
is
in, 10 out.
9-6 with the Cougars in the lead, but side out with number 3, Ali Oylar to serve on the Pilots.
Kill there, number 4, Sarah Bossy.
6 in, 16 out.
Throughout this whole game, Abbasi seemed very, cool, calm, and collected.
Great composure.
Yeah, it's amazing how she does it, because her whole team is, scrambling around. But, she is a front row player. Her main focus is what happens at the net. So she probably doesn't even know that her team's scrambling behind her.
Yeah, I mean, you always see her with the eyes straight forward, doesn't really turn around to see what's going on behind her, which...
Great save by Palma.
Tannehill is unable to get over that. She looks very frustrated with herself.
She's very agitated, and sometimes as a team captain, having all that responsibility, as Erhan had mentioned, it's really stressful. And as a senior and as a captain, I think she sort of expects from herself, to do everything perfectly. But it just can't happen all the time. Big sigh as she gets ready to serve. And you notice that she shrugs her shoulders right before she serves. Each player has their own little quirky habit that they do. The Cougars question the call from the linesperson.
Yeah. Seems like they're a little upset with that one.
I'll be glad when NCS comes around that we have professional people monitoring
You don't like the students?
Well,
JV
I remember
players?
when I was doing it, I would zone out, so I don't blame them.
Can't zone out like that. Gotta pay attention.
I know. Fortunately, nobody got mad at me for doing it, so.
12-8. Now is the score. Albany with a 4-point lead.
Yeah, it's just, it's still no guarantee, especially with this team.
Yeah, but I mean, being senior night and seeing all these fans out here supporting their team, Albany really trying to scratch out this win. And it'd be great if they did, as it would assure them a first-round bye in league playoffs.
Was it playoffs or NCS Well, yeah.
Well, potentially both, but especially playoffs because they would be the
So
number
it's
1
9
seed
in,
at
3
9-0,
out.
even if they lose the next
10
game
in, 6
against El Cerrito, which they probably won't, but
You said you're
be 9-1. But still, that would still be the best record.
10 for
As
6
for
and 3 for
NCS play,
So would you?
if they win the league, they are guaranteed a spot in NCS, or if they have a winning record. So
So it's 16
Albany's
for
almost
6.
assured. They are assured
Yeah,
a
pretty
spot in
much.
NCS play. And Coach Worsley said earlier that he thinks they'll be a 4th or a 5th
All right.
seed, but it depends. I mean, if they win the next 2 games at 10-0, they could be one of the top seeds and get a bye in NCS as well
We're all
as
good?
league playoffs,
Right.
which would be huge.
That would be great.
Having to play 1 less game is always helpful.
Yeah, give up players a rest. They still got school. It's like we're treating them as
As professional athletes, but I mean, they're not. You're right.
I think it'd be great if we had beach volleyball tournaments too, or a beach volleyball team here at the high school.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We're up by 2.
13-11. Not sure what happened there. Tannehill kind of just tapped in front of her, and the woes continue.
I think her hands were just a little too flat. They didn't curve around the ball enough, and it just kind of bounced off her hands. She made sure to make sure that was good. And Reggio Curley tries to stick out her foot to save the ball, but her efforts are in vain.
Yeah, and now the Pilots have tied the game at 13. And so it seems as if every set this game has been a close one, and this one looks to be no different.
Reggio Curley again playing it safe with her kills. And Tannehill is just as frustrated.
Yeah, I think it's starting to get in her head now that, she's made a couple of bad plays, and now that she's getting upset, and I feel like it's contributed to a couple more of the bad plays she's made. But she's still a great player overall, and she should get it together before the end of this set.
Something that she could do that a lot of the other volleyball players and in general a lot of other athletes do is that even if they fail, they still keep a smile on their face. And a great example of that is Anu Munkter, who even though they're losing and she just looked up the score, saw that they're behind, she's
15
still.
to 13.
It's like, I don't know, just like by smiling, it just helps.
And Reggio Curley got a little bit too much on that one, and we see why earlier maybe she was hesitant, because it appears that as she's been a little bit too powerful this set.
You totally read my mind. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm psychic, if you didn't know. (17-13) now is a score for the Pilots are up by 4, and Albany really won these first 2 sets. I mean, I won't say they were easy, but they were able to squeak out with the wins. And then in the 3rd set, the Pilots got a 3 or 4 point win, which was a larger win than either one of Albany's wins. And now they're leading this set 17-14. So Albany really has to get it together. I'm not sure what's going on their side, but
That looked out to me.
and the Albany bench tries to plead their case that was out, but
I mean, from my angle, that looked out to me.
(18-14) now is the score with the Pilots in the lead.
Number 20, Allison Young to serve on the Pilot side. We haven't seen her much in the court, but she does do a nice short serve. Of course, it doesn't matter once Arahan tips the ball over.
5 for 20. How are we on subs? What number? Oh, thank you.
Nice serve by Arahan.
And Libera just kind of floats it over. Not sure what that call was.
Her hand went under the net. You know, the Cougars just can't afford those kinds of things.
19-15 now is the score. With the Pilots have a 4-point lead.
Tight set to Tannehill, but
And that looked out to me, but the lines judge calls it in, and I'll take that as Albany gets the point, 16-19, and number 16, Jillian Guffey, will come off the court for number 6, Benita Izu Alcobia. And it seemed tonight as if those two have subbed in a lot for each other, with Guffey playing when being in when she's in the back to serve, and once she rotates to the front, then Izu Alcobia will come in. Oh, a nice kill by Obasi, number 4.
she just makes it look effortless.
Yeah, she really, when you watch her play, she's kind of just like, But I mean, she does such a great job.
Yeah, she walks away from that point and just be like, okay, what's next? Let's do this.
Yeah, it's really great. 18-19 now for Albany as they're getting back into this game.
And that was a great ace by Poon Palma right there.
Yeah, really, really clutch. Actually, I think it was by Legosta Miller.
Oh, excuse me, yeah.
And Legosta Miller tries to save that one, but is unable to. 18-20 now is the score. Pilots with the lead.
You know, and when you're standing on the line on the side of the court, and you reach out with one hand, you know, it's a big chance that it's not gonna get back into the court.
It's a hard play to make.
And Coach Worsley, you know, was screaming, you know, you got to put your foot on the court, on the line, to make sure that ball's out.
And it seemed as if Obasi had that kill there, but she was unable to. But there is a side out. And number 9, Shannon Reggio Curley comes onto the court. Oh, nice close-up of Coach Worsley there. Nice block by Obasi. And, oh, so close to getting that point. Nice.
Great play.
Great. Obasi has really come on in all of these games tonight, all these sets tonight, and score is tied 20-20, but I really look for her to take even another step as Albany continues with the playoffs and NCS play.
I agree, yeah. Pilots are getting worried. Coach stands up to give his players little tips.
Yes, Albany now has a 1-point lead, and Tannehill will serve once more.
I don't know how the Pilots, how their coach stays seated. I mean, I would be just like Coach Worsley.
Pacing, yeah. I mean, it's not only, Worsley's always on his feet, but especially in this game where it's high-paced and a lot of energy on both sides, a back-and-forth game. I mean, it's really nerve-wracking if you're the coach. It's almost like a playoff atmosphere here tonight.
For sure. And I really hope that we get to host a lot of playoff NCS games here.
I mean, yeah, if they want to do that, though, they need to squeak by with this win. It's no guarantee that they win next week at El Cerrito, and well, it's as close to a guarantee as it can be, but still,
That is just what the Cougars needed.
They got lucky there, and Erhan will now come back onto the court for Obasi. Even though Obasi played admirably, there's no replacing Erhan.
And you've got three really strong offensive attackers, Rizio Curley, Erhan, and Izu Alcobia at the front row. And they're really smart players too.
22-21 is the score. Albany with the lead. Oh, nice block there, and then this is quite a game.
Certainly is. Really long rally.
Yeah. Oh, what a play by Erhan, and she's pumped up. But she quickly gains her composure and moves on because there is still more to be played.
Yes, there is.
Game's not over yet as a new Munkter will serve.
And Erhan's such a professional about everything. But, you know, you got to celebrate sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh, and Rizio Curley is now pumped up after that one.
I think Rizio Curley got a little lucky with that. That ball looked like it was going out, but fortunately it did roll.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes a little luck is all you really need.
And, of course, with one more point to win the whole match, to win the whole game for the Cougars, the Pilots did call a timeout.
Yeah, they really need to gain their composure and get back into this game because set point, and then Albany wins.
Today, the men's and women's cross-country team is taking on St. Joe's and El Cerrito in the season's last dual meet. The runners are heading to Southern California to participate in the Mount SAC Invitational on Friday, October 25th. Looks like there should be quite a showdown between Albany and St. Mary's at the TCAL Championship on November 7th. So let's wish them some luck, huh? St. Mary's is our rival in cross-country and in track.
Are they not a rival for other sports?
They're not very strong in volleyball, I know that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, set point, and Munter is serving. Oh, what a recovery by Albany. That one looked like it was going to go out, but the libero for the Pilots hit it anyways.
Let's see if this is the winning hit.
Oh,
No.
and Aver tries to get the kill, but it was blocked.
I know Erhan really wanted that last one.
Yeah,
to
she
be.
really wanted that one, but sometimes doesn't work out like that. And now the Pilots will get a chance to serve and are looking to get back into this game as they are down by only 2 points. And as a result, Coach Worsley will call a timeout. It's no surprise here.
Yeah, because we have gone over the limit of 25, so it definitely can happen. He's not taking any chances.
And as we look over now to the huddle of Albany, you can see that number one, Jasmine Asaya has her back wrapped up a little bit, so it appears as if she is injured, and I'm not sure if that happened during the game or if that was a previous injury, but either way, it looks like we probably won't see any more of Asaya today.
And that's unfortunate because we could really use her serves.
Yeah, but in her absence, Munkter and Guffey especially have performed quite nicely. Well, I guess Munkter's always there to serve, but Guffey mostly.
We're all good.
24-22 is the score. Just a reminder, Albany up by 2 points. And what a kill there by number 9, Shannon Rizio Curley. And Albany is able to squeak by with the win.
Yeah, it was her time. Rizio Curley has been had some trouble with her kills, but you know she really deserved that. For all the
Yeah,
effort that she
I
put
mean,
into
it's
the
senior
game.
night tonight, and
I'm sure that was really satisfying, you know.
yeah, it was quite satisfying. But tonight's game, just like all the other games, the seniors really dominated. Brooke Tannehill seemed like she was struggling a little bit throughout, but she kept it together, didn't let that bother her. Emma Erhan had a beautiful game, as she seemed to be a part of a lot of Albany's scoring, and then we just saw Reggio Curley right there with the game-winning point.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, I'm sure all the family that came out to support them and all of the friends that were there with their hilarious signs, I have to say.
Yeah, they were pretty. That one with Brooke Tannehill was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a big win for Albany as they move to 10-0 in league play, and
They've got one more game to go.
One more game to play, but they are assured a first-round bye of league playoffs, as no other team can overtake them.
And unfortunately, this next and last game that they have to play, it is an away game at El Cerrito High. But I can predict that we'll be seeing a lot of freshman Jillian Guffey, a lot more of the underclassmen, and hopefully Jasmine Asai will have recovered by
as well as McKenna, because you could see at the end of the game, Lagoshna Miller was very, I wouldn't say exhausted, but she was definitely tired. She played a lot.
You know, I'm sure she could take like an ice bath or something, as he's had some players do before.
So, it's quite a game tonight. Really just amazing throughout. It takes a big team behind the scenes to bring this broadcast of the Albany St. Joseph Notre Dame volleyball game to you. Producing tonight's show is Lady Maris. Our engineer in charge tonight is Ori Maus. Directing our show is Kat Superwit, and technical director is Kyle Kristen. Making the show sound so good is auto engineer Ben Boskin. Shooting the match are camera operators Jacob Crowley, Julie Cow, and Miranda Pack. The bug operator is Margarita Castro. Brandon Yee is running graphics tonight. Our sideline reporter is, no, just kidding. Besides me is Maggie Dorpy Murray. For Albany Students Broadcasting, this is Arnya Gissing-Kinane. See you next time.